So I was sold on Donkey Kong Bonanza from its first showing, so much so that when they did a deep dive direct, I skipped it because I didn't want to see what was to come. And honestly, the wait was absolutely worth it. I got up early yesterday when the game released to play before having to go to work, but my capture card wasn't working, which ended up being a blessing in disguise because it took me out of review mode and I went and just played the game with the kids when they woke up later that day. And it was such a joy for me to sit down and play this game with my kids. It's going to end up being one of those core memories, one of those core games that really, I think, shapes their childhood, much like Super Mario World shaped mine many years ago at this point. So also, I want to say just before we dive in, a huge shout out to my friend and fellow content creator Chrono. He provided me with all the gameplay footage that you're seeing here in this video, so that way I could make it. You can go check out Chrono's content at the top link in the description. Also over at the Gaming Roundtable podcast with me every week. Links are also in the description for that too. We'd love to see you over at the podcast, but please go also check out Chrono and his content. Awesome Christian guy. Love working with him. And cannot wait to continue to talk games with him on the podcast. But that all being said, I do want to say Donkey Kong Bonanza has me excited. Oh my gosh, I'm such a nerd. I'm such a Nintendo fanboy for what we see with the next Mario game. This is rumored to come out next year, by the way. Donkey Kong Bonanza was made by the Mario Odyssey team, which I think you feel an immense amount of quality. Super Mario Odyssey was my game of the year when it came out. And now here we are with Donkey Kong Bonanza. We'll talk about Game of the Year here at the end of this video because we're seeing some interesting contentions here, but focusing in on this review, focusing on just the value that this game brings, let's dive in a little bit further because one of the things I really like about this is that as I continue to play it, the quality of the game feels like it is making a step up each and every time. Focusing on just the gameplay alone, I love that how Donkey Kong is able in a way to terraform the world. You can really dive into and shape the world and find all kinds of discoveries. This is going to be interesting to see how my wife ends up playing the game over time because she is such a collector at heart. So there is going to probably be many discoveries across this game, across its life that we're going to constantly see kind of either for ourselves or when somebody discovers how to find this online. It's truly like magnificent what they've been able to accomplish. Now, also watching my kids play this game as we were rotating the controller around the room in the standard couch co-op single player style, watching my daughter actually build her quote unquote house. This was really cool. She was terraforming the world, putting in things, making it kind of this space that she wanted. And that is something I think was really sweet and exciting to see her build that out and make that something of a reality, especially because one of the things that I was watching for is, did the kids get bored playing this game and then immediately shift back into Minecraft? From a value proposition, from answering the question, is this game worth it? They continued to play this game. In fact, they were obviously wanting to stay up late playing this game, which is no surprise to the fellow parents out there, but shifting into the idea that they're getting up, they're wanting to play, they want to jump back into Donkey Kong Bonanza. That gives me a lot of value in sitting down and having whether it's just a game that you're playing by yourself or a game that you're actually experiencing with others. I think there's a lot of value in that because within gaming in its current iteration, a lot of it just kind of goes to the Fortnites and the Minecrafts, and seeing something come out like this, at least for a short period of time, be able to capture and hold your attention, I think is really exciting. So I want to talk also about the style in this game. You could kind of think about this as the sound and the graphics in a way. This game has style, meaning the characters, the reactions, everything feels like a massive upgrade from Super Mario Wonder. And if you hadn't played that game or hadn't seen that game, they really spent a lot of time in just bringing in a lot of character into the animation. So animations felt interesting. They felt reactive to the world around them. And that's what this one is as well. And the Donkey Kong character and his expressions and how they deliver, like, both is visually impressive, but it also feels fun. And anytime there's a cutscene, it's always interesting to see kind of what happens. So it does capture and hold my attention. Anytime something's going on screen, like I like looking at it, I like watching it. I like laughing. There's some fun comedy that they kind of build into that. And honestly, again, like I said, this makes me so excited to see what they're going to do with the rumored Mario game out next year. And so that's something personally pretty exciting. I do feel like the style in this game, like I said, is a massive upgrade. And I think it really helps set a tone for what some of the things the Switch 2 can do, but also for what other games will be able to take advantage of. Now, the third thing I want to kind of talk about is the kind of the Zelda RPG-ness of it. I love that you're building out skills and unlocking various different things. It encourages that exploration to go into different directions and try to see what else you can kind of discover. There feels like there's a lot of unlocks in this game, not just from your skill tree, but also in terms of what you're wearing and how that can have a positive impact on your play style. So where in Super Mario Odyssey, you had a lot of little outfits to collect, etc., which was kind of just a fun extra thing that you can do and dress up Mario in fun and, you know, ways, especially in tribute to his history. This also kind of is that, but it also has that gameplay added element, which I find very, very enjoyable. So the question boils down to, is this game worth it? And I think it kind of falls into three different categories. First and foremost, if you already have a Switch 2, this is an easy recommend. It's also $70, so it's not where you're seeing the price creep up where we've seen with Super Mario Kart and that whole concern and debate that's happening on the internet. So $70, yes, I can definitely see myself getting way more than 70 hours of gameplay in this game, especially over the course of this next summer and then some. Now, if you do not already own a Switch 2, if you're looking for a reason, as long as this isn't the only game you ever plan on picking up for the system, then I think you're going to be safe. However, I could not recommend this game and a Switch 2 in terms of the overall price if that's all you're going to get, because that's $500, or in this case, probably $600 if you get the bundle with Mario Kart. Some odd hour, like I always kind of do $1 per hour of joy when it comes to game just calculations. As a base, you can use your own calculations. This is just how I kind of view it. What I look at here is like 600, 700 hours. Like that's a lot of gameplay time. However, I would probably venture to bet that if you pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza, that you're going to probably pick up other games too. Long run of it, lifetime of the system, I think you're going to be in safe hands, especially what we saw with the Switch 1. Now, however, if you're the kind of a game, because this is, again, no small money, the third kind of category is that if it's not your kind of thing, if you're waiting for a bigger library of games, by all means, continue to wait. You're not going to, miss out on a life-changing experience. It's a fun game, and I think that's one of the things that when it comes down to the conversation and frustrations that gamers are having with the state of the industry, despite some of the things that Nintendo does that absolutely frustrates gamers, and I know that when I put out my review on the Switch 2, it is a tough thing to recommend because of some of those things, and you guys can go check that out if you're interested in more details. But when it's all said and done, they make incredible games, and I think that is really going to be what we see as the testament to Nintendo, focusing in on quality, not necessarily on quantity, making sure that the games are ready to rock and roll, kind of that going back in a way to where it was in the 80s and 90s with that Nintendo seal of quality meaning something to the gamers. And I think Donkey Kong Bonanza absolutely delivers on that. For Donkey Kong Country fans, those who grew up with this game, I think you're going to be in good hands. I think you're going to like it. It starts off, I think, a little bit easier. I've always felt like the Donkey Kong games push the difficulty up much higher than what we've seen with Mario games. Right now, this feels like it's really accessible, and you even have a kind of an excessive, assist mode, which essentially kind of helps you and helps the kids kind of figure out where they're going. And, that's probably because most games that are out now for them are trained on basically a lot of hand holding, but you can turn that off and you can adjust that at any time, which is, I think, truly a really nice thing to have. Now, all that being said, guys, I'm going to go back to playing some Donkey Kong Bonanza with the family tonight. And if you're playing it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can sound off in the comments, or you can come hang out in the Discord. All the links to all the content is in the description. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I'm going to send you out of here and just wish you guys all the best. God bless, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.
Pixel pack mornings, controller in hand. 6 little co-op partners ready to stand. Rosaries hang where the headsets lay. Faith in frames per second lead the way.